Timing it. There we go. Say we are live. We're out there on the interwebs, on the internets and all that kind of hoodaddy whatnots. Got the YouTube open. I got Twitch open too, but I'm not in there. Anybody in Twitch?
Not yet.
Mm-hmm. I guess let's see. This week on the Geek EZ, it'll be all E3. Be handing off to Alistair for the first half of the show. Our in-house game aficionado.
Aficionado?
Whatever.
In fuego? You're on fire?
Oh no, that was not in fuego.
But it did burn on the way out.
So, yeah, let's see. No Wolfie tonight. Hope everything goes good for him. Can't say too much more, but it's all good. Let's do that opener, and we'll come back, and we'll let Alistair take it from there, and he can go all E3 on us.
Okay, just put me on the spot.
You're the one that posted it in Facebook, man.
I'm not the only one who watched E3.
Well, okay, whoever watched it, I did not. I did not have a chance. But we'll do this right here, and then we'll come back and argue some more.
The following podcast is intended.
That's the wrong one. Hit the wrong button.
Do not reflect this station or any affiliated.
Good night, folks.
Listener discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geek EZ.
I love the fact you've just never gone back to the other one. So I love the fact you've just never gone back to the other one.
Yeah. You know, I'm surprised we haven't got nailed with a copyright thing on that. Probably because the music's not the same.
Also really short?
It's really short, but I mean, it's got, it won't be, but I don't know. Things are working. I got a fire lit under my butt for some reason. I got stuff, literally, it's projects left and right now, but here we go. I guess the big news for the week was E3, right? There was nothing else major aside from the Dumbo trailer that dropped today.
Which was whelming.
Yes. Kind of sad, but
who's the director again? Tim Burton?
It's got Michael Keaton, Danny DeVito. They're all back. I was like, hey, it's the entire cast of Batman. But Dumbo's like, I can't watch Dumbo.
It's hard to beat the classic. Why do you want to? You don't need a live action version.
No, I'm not talking about the live action. The classic animated film is probably next to Bambi and The Lion King, one of the saddest. That whole opener with his mom and stuff, man. Oh. And their trunks all intertwined, and she gets taken. Oh, it's all bad.
I grant you that.
Traumatizing as a child to be the thought of, like, I don't know, being separated from your parent that way. It's not cool.
Bill's character.
Dumbo.
No, it said Bill's character, not which character.
Oh, I thought you said which character. Oh, okay. But that was the only thing that I really saw geeky-wise. I mean, I don't want to touch anything on the toxic fandom just because it's giving them too much of a attention. I don't know. I think they feed off of it.
Too much of a voice.
Doesn't Incredibles 2 come out this week?
Friday. I'll be there. Probably next week sometime. The whole family. Okay, so E3. Inform me. Aside from the Star Wars game stuff, which popped across my feed because every Star Wars page I'm on Facebook all had it on there about the was it Fallen Jedi or whatever it was?
Well, we'll start there since technically we need to start there anyway because EA did the first showcase.
Okay.
So literally
all we know, because it was literally the guy from Respawn sitting in the audience and being like, okay, here. They gave it a name. It's called Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. They say it will star a Jedi, and it takes place between episodes 3 and 4 during the Dark Times. And that's it. That's literally all we know about that.
And what are the odds that we'll actually see it and it won't get canceled?
Well, considering what happened next related to Star Wars, I'd say probably pretty well. They did have a Battlefront 2 segment in which one of the guys from DICE came out and pretty much apologized for Battlefront 2. Said they quite literally said they got it wrong. So the rumors of the game being abandoned aren't true. They do have a Clone Wars update coming up, in which you'll be able to play as Count Dooku, Obi-Wan Kenobi, General Grievous, and a General Anakin Skywalker.
As opposed to the specific Anakin Skywalker?
Well, we
don't want to get too specific about this.
A way too young Anakin Skywalker or a Anakin Skywalker in a fetish suit.
Yahoo!
So I've got to ask the question here: who would win in a fight, Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker?
Anakin Skywalker.
Specifically, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Anakin Skywalker.
Yes, Anakin Skywalker would beat Darth Vader. Even though they are the same person in a lightsaber battle, Darth Vader would not win.
They're also adding.
I think it's debatable.
The Clone Wars game mode is what it's kind of called right now, but it's basically the old Galactic Conquest game mode from the older Battlefront games. They revealed the cinematic trailer for Battlefield 5. And while this did not happen at E3, I will give props to EA. The guys behind Battlefield 5 basically had this to say about the people who didn't like the idea that there were women in Battlefield 5, even though there's a lot of historical data about women fighting in World War II.
Buy it.
Either get over it or don't buy it. They did confirm that there will be a Battle Royale mode. There were not as many Battle Royale announcements during E3 as I was expecting. I'm honestly surprised there. They, of course, announced their usual sports games, which nobody cares about, except for those 5 people who play FIFA and Madden.
Oh, so basically Badger. Got it.
Yeah, they did a lot more discussion about Anthem, how Anthem will not have lockboxes, how there will be cosmetics, but all the cosmetics are going to be purchased directly, no spin the wheel and win sort of situation, how it's going to be a shared world shooter where the story is based on you, but it's cooperative gameplay. And we also got a release date for that, which pretty much everybody in the entire known universe is aiming for a release date of February 22nd now. And then they announced a new Command & Conquer game, which the best way I can describe this Command & Conquer game is I'm going to quote a YouTuber I watch called Captain Shack, which is, they proceeded to rip out my soul and beat it to death on stage. Because the new Command & Conquer game is a completely watered down PvP mobile game. That's it. That's pretty much it for E3. I'm not E3, EA. I mean, we're getting more Plants vs. Zombies.
Oh, joy.
Tell us how you really feel.
That's about it for EA. The next press conference was Microsoft, which of the three consoles, I'm going to go ahead and say, hands down, Microsoft won it because they actually had stuff. Specifically, they had things that used to be PlayStation exclusive, but are now non-PlayStation exclusive, and they premiered first this E3 on Microsoft's thing. So there's a new Halo game out coming called Halo Infinite. We don't know if it's actually going to be Halo 6. It doesn't look like it is. No release date. Will come to both Xbox and PC, and will be in a brand new engine. The sequel to Ori, called Ori: The Will of the Wisps, is coming out next year, which was really, really big because Ori was a very, very big hit for the Xbox. From Software is developing a sort of samurai Dark Souls game that's going to come out on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation 4. So that's non-exclusive, so it's good for Xbox. Fallout 76 had a trailer, which was really interesting because Bethesda had their showcase after Microsoft did, but Todd Howard came out onto the Microsoft press conference and actually did a short presentation and trailer for Fallout 76 before their own press conference. Feel free to comment at any point, guys.
I'm listening.
We're listening.
There is a little game coming out called The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, which looks like it's going to be this little very narrative-based game. It's going to be based in the same universe as Life is Strange. Crackdown 3 is actually happening. Go ahead, Roland.
Well, going back to what you had said about the prior game, it has been said that that game is going to be free as far as I know.
That was what I gathered as well, but I don't know if it's official, so I wasn't going to say anything.
I saw it on one of the sites. I'll have to dig up the article.
Like I said, Crackdown 3 is happening. Terry Crews is very excited. We got more stuff for Metro Exodus, which honestly excites me because I love that sort of environment, post-apocalyptic Russia. Like Stalker and stuff like that. This was the big thing. Microsoft premiered the Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer for Frozen. Not Sony, who's usually doing the Kingdom Hearts stuff. Sony did say they're getting an exclusive HD remastered bundle, but I have a funny feeling it's only going to be exclusive for maybe a couple of months. There's more content coming to Sea of Thieves. I don't know if that content's going to be free or not, but I imagine it would, considering the sort of rough start Sea of Thieves has had.
It's most likely going to be free. I haven't seen anything about a season pass.
Forza Horizon 4.
Yay.
Which I believe gave Roland a little bit of a tingle in his pants, was announced. You want to talk anything about that, Roland?
You get to say hello to the Queen, maybe.
It takes place in the UK. It's actually an open, shared world.
Yeah, they're actually changing how the environment works this time around. So when Forza Horizon 2 came out, they introduced the Drivatar system, which is based on other players' driving habits in Forza. And one of our good buddies, Trekkie, even though he says he's never played a Forza game, he's played at least one. But this new one that's coming around, it's actually going to be implementing different seasons that's going to be shared across the entire game. And they're getting rid of the Drivatar system and making it more in line with the... Have you ever heard of the game Test Drive Unlimited? It's going along that route with the open world.
And one thing they showed that I thought was interesting, and really cool that a driving game is doing this. Is like, say, winter rolls around and a lake freezes over, you can drive on the lake and go to areas you probably normally couldn't get to. I think it's just me and you, Roland.
I'm just listening. I didn't watch any of that stuff.
Microsoft has acquired Ninja Theory, Undead Labs, Playground Games, and Compulsion Games, which is really, really big. They've also opened a brand new studio in Santa Monica called The Initiative, which is led by people formerly from Crystal Dynamics. They had a trailer for We Happy Few, which is an indie game that is now being published by Gearbox, so it's getting a lot more funding. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition is going to launch on all platforms, but it was announced on with the Xbox thing. That also got Roland's attention.
Considering it's a good JRPG series, I've heard. Yes, it is.
There was a trailer and some gameplay for The Division 2, but we'll talk about that later when we get to Ubisoft. They had a trailer for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I know excited some people, but it's not my kind of game. A skateboarding game is being made called Session by Creature Studios. It's going to come out next year.
But it's no Skate 4.
But it's not Skate 4. It's been confirmed for Xbox and PC, but not PlayStation 4 and Switch, so it may be an exclusive. Because keep in mind that Microsoft has made it so any Xbox exclusives have to also be available for Windows 10. Black Desert's beta is going to start this fall on the Xbox. The news that got me really excited is Devil May Cry 5, which is going back to the original Devil May Cry universe.
Yes, and I believe Alistair over there actually had to change his pants a few times.
No, I didn't, but I was excited. It's going to star Nero, Dante, and a new antagonist that I did not recognize. Protagonist. It's in the art style of the last game, but still takes place in the original universe. We're getting a game called Jump Force, which is, I think, the first really Shonen Jump fighting game that has not been on a mobile handheld.
Actually, I think you may be right. And when Alistair says mobile handheld, he means like game like the 3DS or
old Game
the
Boy.
Vita. Yeah, pretty much Nintendo or Sony handhelds in Japan.
Techland announced a direct sequel to Dying Light, which is, of course, Dying Light 2. They showcase like how decisions you make will actually not only shape how the narrative goes, but shape how the world changes. An example of this was you went on a mission, and if you chose to complete the mission as you were told, the city would gain access to clean water, but the organization that actually controlled access to that water became very totalitarian, and anybody who wasn't directly in line with their thinking was punished. Or if you went the other way, water became a trade commodity and you gained access to certain things you wouldn't have normally gained access to, but it also invited in criminal elements. Microsoft can now say, if ever they're given a prank call, that they do indeed have Battletoads.
Battletoads?
Yep,
yes,
there's a Battletoads game coming.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show any game footage, but you've played Battletoads, haven't you, Adam?
Oh, it's been ages.
So, do you remember the hover cycle jumps?
Yeah. Oh my god, let's see, you're asking me to go back a long time, dude.
The ones where you have to deal with the ramps and the walls.
Yes.
Just coming in straight at you like bam, 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 bam.
Yes.
That's how they said. That's pretty much how they proved that it was Battletoads.
So the whole game is going to be nothing but jumps and walls. I'm kidding.
It is Battletoads. I wouldn't put it past them.
Square Enix announced Just Cause 4, which if you wait for a real second right here, you will probably hear Badger make a very excited noise about. Because he's very excited about that game.
Yes, I need it.
Tell us how you really feel.
They are working on a new gaming system, which is currently codenamed Scarlet. And as far as I'm aware, they are the only console developer this year to announce that they are actually working on a console. There were 3 Gears of War announcements. Gears of War 5, which is being done by the Coalition, will be on Xbox and PC. Gears of War Tactics, which is going to be only on PC. And then Gears Pop, which is a Gears of War game in the style of Pop figures.
Which is also going to be on mobile.
Yeah, it's also going to be on mobile. There's a new game coming out called Tunic, which is basically a isometric 3D Zelda game, which is not bad.
It's got a little fox as the main character.
They announced a new DLC for Cuphead called The Delicious Last Course, which, as I understand it from the internet, because it announced a new female playable character, immediately launched porn, because this is the internet. And then CD Projekt Red hacked Xbox's press conference and had a really sweet trailer for Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk.
A game that they first showed a trailer for 5 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago.
It's a game that they've been working on for so long that CD Projekt Red knew that it was going to take a while, so their release date for it for a very long time has been when it's done.
Wasn't there another game that they were doing that when it's done? What game was that?
Witcher, maybe?
I remember this, like, when it's done. When it's done. It's like, what do you mean when it's done?
That was probably Cyberpunk then.
Yeah, that's the only game I can think of.
The Witcher 3 should have been a dead giveaway that Cyberpunk 2077 is close to completion.
Matter of fact, they did a Witcher 3 trailer for Cyberpunk 2077. So, not long after the Microsoft showcase, we had the Bethesda showcase, or as I like to call it, the We Have Become Very Self-Aware showcase. They announced Rage 2, which is basically Doom and Fallout had a baby. Because it's a very Fallout-like setting with some very Doom-like gameplay.
So wait,
Fallout and Doom had a baby.
Yeah, so wait, we're talking about Rage, right? Rage 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, the one that they said that thanks to our friends at Walmart Canada.
Yes, that's like, we're going to first talk about a game that we announced last week thanks to our friends at Walmart Canada, because Walmart Canada accidentally posted about it.
Actually, they also started off the press conference with one Andrew WK.
Yeah, I was like, we're here to talk about Rage 2, and then Andrew WK came out and
pretty much played his most famous song,
Party.
Party Hard.
They talked a little bit about Elder Scrolls Legends, which is going to be coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch this year. They announced a sequel to Doom called Doom Eternal. I knew it was Doom because I recognized those bass lines. They announced Wolfenstein Youngblood, which is a direct sequel / spinoff to the most recent one, New Colossus. It's a co-op game where you play the twin daughters of B.J. Blazkowicz from the last two Wolfenstein games. It's going to be launching on all platforms, so far as we know, except for the Switch, which I believe New Colossus is also coming to the Switch. And I'm going to do a direct quote here. I just need to actually go find the direct quote so I can quote it, but I'm going to go ahead and put forewarning that there's going to be a word in it. It was probably one of the best quotes from E3. Fallout New Colossus is our never-ending quest to send our message of fuck Nazis to every platform possible.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure that's the one of the family mottos in Adam's life.
They then talked about Quake Champions, which is going to be free for a limited period of time. And then they announced Skyrim Very Special Edition. This is where the "we have become self-aware" part comes in. Our Lord, God Howard, or Todd Howard, however you want to say it, came out and said, "We all know why you're here," which is to see where we're going to put Skyrim next. And they released a trailer for Skyrim on Amazon Alexa.
Amazon Alexa.
It's also coming soon to your Samsung refrigerator, your old Motorola pager, and what was the other thing?
I'm playing Skyrim on my pager.
The best part is you actually can download the Skyrim thing on Alexa and play a little bit.
Just be prepared to yell a lot.
They announced Prey Moon Crash, which is a new DLC coming out for Prey. It's going to be set on the moon and is kind of like a simulation thing. There's also going to be more content updates for Prey, including something called Typhon Hunter, which is a play on a very popular game type for a lot of source games called Prop Hunter. In Prop Hunter, you're generally either a prop or a hunter, and which, sounds pretty straightforward from the name. Props can't do anything but hide as props, and hunters try and find them before the time runs out, or they end up hitting the wrong thing too many times and die. In Typhon Hunter, you are a single player versus 5 people playing Typhons who are mimics, and mimics can make themselves look like anything, but mimics can also hurt you.
Don't forget about New Game Plus.
And New Game Plus. It's also survival mode. Fallout Shelter is coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Switch. Elder Scrolls Online is getting 2 more DLCs this year. Elder Scrolls Online is also, I think, 11 million players now?
Give or take.
Also, Fallout Shelter has had more players than every other Bethesda game in their history combined.
Say that again.
I said Fallout Shelter has had more players than any other game in Bethesda's history combined.
Oh, okay. That's what. Yeah.
They did announce a Elder Scrolls Blades, which is a mobile game, but it will also be coming to consoles, VR platforms, and PC later this year, and it's free to play.
That's cool.
They talked about Fallout 76, which we should probably do a special segment at some point, recorded later, and put it up about Fallout 76, because there's a lot to go over.
Okay.
The gist of it is a survival game. It takes place roughly 20-25 years after the bombs dropped in the Fallout universe. It is entirely online. You can play single player, but there are no living NPCs, so you will still encounter other players. There will be private servers and mod support after launch, but not right at launch. You will be able to, if you're playing on public servers, go out and find key codes to gain access to nuclear missile silos and nuke your enemies if you want to. But it's considered softcore survival. It will launch November 14th of this year, which is really interesting that they announced it's coming out this year. They also officially announced Starfield, which is something that a lot of people knew was coming, but they had never really talked about. It's a single-player sci-fi RPG, and it's their first new original franchise in 25 years. And they also announced that The Elder Scrolls 6 is in pre-production.
So, did they? I mean, aside, what footage was shown from some of these games? Anything, or was this all just announcements?
Oh, there was a lot of footage for a lot of the games, and then in some cases, some people came out a lot. Like, if we had video, we could show it, but we would be running for a long time past our usual time.
Oh yeah.
I'll go ahead and put this like next year. I would really like for us to maybe try and find a way to have the E3 week off, so we can do our own simulcast and talk about things. That would be cool.
That'd be cool.
So that was the end of June 10th. So June 11th, we got trailers for Sonic Team Racing.
Wait, wasn't Devolver Digital's that same night?
We don't talk about Devolver Digital.
Why?
Devolver Digital, they did have their press conference, but Devolver Digital's press conference at E3 is literally them poking fun at E3 press conferences.
It's also known for... Well, this one was known for being, have we already hit our hard R rating for the night?
No, we're still at PG-13. We only had one.
Okay.
For an R? He's going for an R, folks.
Yes, it was batshit crazy.
That's not R.
You get out of here with that lame-assness.
No, once you watch the trailer, you'll see that I'm using the term lightly.
I'm trying to see if I can find some direct quotes.
Oh, they also did introduce Metal Wolf Chaos. A game that is so over the top that it never reached US shores.
Yeah, so...
What?
Okay, let me play it. Okay, the press conference started with the guy who was quoted to be the new, completely not short-term CEO of Devolver Digital, who was basically giving a really, really drawn-out, very, very clearly sarcastic representation of a video game CEO company's speech of how they're doing stuff for their shareholders and their consumers and all that sort of stuff. And then Nina Struthers came out, snapped his neck, and said, "Shut your mouth, you miserable piece of garbage," in a press conference.
Go ahead. Holy cow, really?
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this was all pre-recorded anyways.
It was all pre-recorded and staged, so nobody's neck really
Shut your
got snapped.
mouth, you horrible piece of garbage.
They then talked about a game called Scum, which is a battle royale type game, but it's been around for a while as far as I'm aware. I think it has. I don't know. It's an open world survival battle royale game but it has giant robots, mechs, crazy dudes wearing bear heads. They also announced the newest development in
cryptocurrency,
Devolver Digital technology, which is Lootbox Coin. which is a loot box coin. It will be available on the Devolver Digital Store, which it is, for a price that changes every hour on the hour for no discernible reason.
It was $150 the day of, $250 the next day, and what is it now?
Go take a look.
Loot box coin is... it's $100, but it's out of stock.
For now.
And actually, I just love the description of this for just on the store. The officially unofficial loot box coin from Devolver Digital as seen in the Devolver Digital 2018 E3 press conference. Please note that this coin is 2.5 inches in diameter, has no actual value, and by no means is to be considered cryptocurrency or currency of any kind. You can't buy anything with it. In fact, it's insane for you to really buy it unless you want to prove your loyalty to Fork Parker, Nina Struthers, and the Devolver Digital Executive Board.
So there.
Yep.
Okay, well, I gotta ask, because I don't know, did you see the Lego DC villains thing or not?
No.
Oh.
No.
See, that's the one I actually was looking forward to. I love the Lego games, and I don't know why.
It's not just
They then released a trailer for My Friend Pedro, Blood, Bullets, and Bananas, which is this sort of like platforming game where you play a pirouetting cyberpunk guy in a gas mask with twin machine guns who spins around and shoots people. It's a game about a man who will obliterate anything in his past on the behest of a sentient banana. That's the gist of that game.
Yeah, like I said, Devolver Digital's press conference was just batshit insane.
And then I'm just gonna
I mean, it's so far you've only blown my skirt up with like 3 things that got said out there that I would be like, "Ooh, I might have to get that game," and then you lost me completely at Plants vs Zombies.
Then I'm just going to read this part directly from this article that I'm getting the Devolver Digital stuff from, which is on CG Mag Online. They announced the Devolver Digital Entertainment System Classic. It says, remember how publishers and console makers have released remaster after remaster over the years, or in Nintendo's case, released console collections to appeal to your deep and abiding nostalgic love for the games you grew up with? Well, Devolver Digital is now tapped in the market with the Devolver Digital Entertainment System Classic that collects 25 of the publisher's games and is absolutely not a Sega Dreamcast. Nope, not a Sega Dreamcast. Nothing to see here. Pay no attention to the boy being viciously beaten with a baton, because he pointed out that it was a Sega Dreamcast with some excess cables and a game that wasn't even going to work, and a woman beat him with a baton.
The funny thing is, we were watching that and I commented on the fact, is that a Sega Dreamcast?
The quote from this segment is, you are paying triple sticker price to some creep selling them out of his car next to his dumpster out behind Taco Bell, and not the nice Taco Bell, but the sketchy one that sells fried chicken and pizza and smells faintly of mop bucket filled with purple drinking puke.
Oh, that's some colorful adjectives. I like it.
Then Devolver Digital finally announced their final announcement, which is that they are working with From Software to bring Metal Wolf Chaos to the United States. Metal Wolf Chaos is a game that came out in 2004 and never came out in the West. Metal Wolf Chaos involves giant robots in Washington, D.C. and other places. Matter of fact, the little trailer they showed involved a giant robot breaking out of the White House. And this is going to make your day, Adam. Would you like to know the website for the game?
Go ahead. Tell me.
Make America Great Again.
Make America Great. Now, you said this was released in the East and not in the West?
Yes,
right.
It was only released in Japan. Strangely,
in 2004.
It was only released in Japan and only on the Xbox, which makes it really, really weird.
Yeah. But curiosity, did they update said graphics for 2018? They left it as it would have been in 2004.
Yep.
And they
Why
also...
would anyone... And this is for the Xbox?
PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4.
Yes, but the original was on the Xbox.
Uh-huh.
Yes, the original Xbox.
The green one.
The green.
Yes. The big, huge one.
Yes. No, not the... Yeah, well... You
It's-
can't use the word one when you talk about Xboxes anymore, man.
It's not a remaster. It's literally just a release. They're actually getting it released. Then
And here's the kicker. They're keeping the original dialogue from the game, which was... All the dialogue was originally in English anyways to begin with. It's just over-the-top acting.
How
And
funny
then-
is that? I just got an email from EA Games. They want to know what my opinion of my gaming experiences are. Well, to be perfectly honest, I'm playing Battlefront 2 a lot lately, and I'm having a blast as long as I get to blast things. Sorry, go about your business.
Then the press conference came to a close, a young man who in Devolver Digital's batshit crazy conference last year lost his arm as it got sucked into a computer, appeared in the front of the stage with a machine gun for his arm and promptly murdered Nina Struthers. It fades to black and comes back up, and there's a very distinct RoboCop sequence, and it ends with the quote that you're going to be one bad motherfucker.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh no, that's Terminator. Sorry.
Jim Sterling basically referred to Devolver Digital's press conferences as the birth of the E3 cinematic universe, because it quite literally ended with fading to black and going to be continued next year. It was a thing.
Hold on, I'm looking more stuff up, and I'm looking for things that I want to know about that I did not get to watch.
Hey, didn't you get one of the video game lore makers to
Cry?
do something? Well, cry as well.
I got him to cry. Okay, so my name is Bife. He's a lore master for Destiny, and he's also been getting into Warframe. He made a reaction to Elder Scrolls 6, and I made the suggestion that he should do lore videos. He retweeted that with "like if you want," promptly got 3,000 likes, so he's going to do lore videos. Then after the Destiny 2 teaser came out, in which our favorite robot voiced by Nathan Fillion gets shot in the face came out, he said, "This is heavy, guys, I need a drink," and I posted a picture of Kate Six's drink, and he cried. I made a man cry.
Yep, and I think that's all of the E3 press conferences that are of importance.
What about Super Smash Brothers Ultimate?
We haven't gotten to Ubisoft, dude.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Between Devolver Digital and Ubisoft, we got Sonic Team Racing's trailer, we got Zanki Zero Last Beginning, which is an interesting title all of itself. We got Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. These are things I didn't actually get to see, so I'm just kind of going over them. We got a crossover event between Final Fantasy XIV and Monster Hunter World, in which one of the monsters from Monster Hunter World is going to be a boss in Final Fantasy XIV, and a behemoth from Final Fantasy XIV is going to be a monster you can fight in Monster Hunter World. They announced Dragon Quest XI, Platinum Games, the people behind Nier Automata, or Android Booty Simulator 2017, announced Babylon's Fall, but there's no more information about it other than that.
How can you announce something and not tell anybody about it?
Square also announced The Quiet Man, but there's more information coming in August. We don't even know who's making it. They also showed the exact same trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3 as Xbox did.
Hey, here's this thing that you've already seen. Kind of like the Superman video that's floating around for his 80th.
Yeah. Also, we just lost a Roland.
Yeah, but that's not unusual at this time.
Then we had Ubisoft. Ubisoft started with Beyond Good and Evil 2. Less cursing in this one, a lot more drama. I'm excited. They are doing something they call the Space Monkey program, where people can submit artwork, music, and story ideas to be actually included in the game. Apparently this has had mixed responses. They had a really big dance routine, because everybody needs a dance routine at least once during an E3. They announced that there's a lot more stuff coming for Rainbow Six Siege. We got a lot of details about The Division 2, which has got quite a few of us excited, which says something considering a lot of us were very disappointed with the first year of The Division. For the 5 people who actually play Trials, there's a new Trials game coming out.
Yeah.
There is a new expansion DLC thing coming for Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle called Donkey Kong Adventure. They showed gameplay and a cinematic trailer for Skull and Bones, which is this pirate simulator game. Pirate games are popular lately. They showed a trailer for a VR game called Transference, which looks, and this is where we're going straight to that hard R again, like it's going to be mind-fucking.
A lot of VR stuff.
Yeah. They announced Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which will involve dialogue, choices, romances, and the other stuff. So it's less Assassin's Creed and more Assassin Effect or Mass Creed.
Doesn't it come to a point where it's just like they just keep beating that horse? Assassin's Creed, Halo, I mean, how much more different can the gameplay be at that point? It's like if they were to announce a Battlefront 3, I'm like, okay, yeah, it's unless it's completely different and they try something new, because Battlefront, back in the original ones, 1 and 2, and the new Battlefront, it's like they're all the same game. It's just shoot 'em up and die, shoot 'em up and die. How much more can, I mean, Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed. It's the same, it's like God of War. It's like the gameplay is still technically the same, is it not?
Well, God of War, the new one, is actually very fundamentally different from the previous God of War games.
It is, and it's actually a lot better too, I think.
I don't have it yet.
It's a lot more action RPG, whereas God of War games previously were straight up button mashing action games.
Yes, that's exactly what they were.
No, this one takes a lot of I shouldn't say a lot. Compared to previous God of Wars, it takes strategy.
Yeah,
There's
you have
more planning.
A lot more planning, a lot more maneuvering around your enemies, a lot more paying attention to the actual gear you got equipped, because you do have RPG-like gear. Ubisoft
so you actually have
showed
to follow the story.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just a hair bit more open world, but not too much.
Yeah, and there's even side quests and all sorts of stuff. But they also showed a new gameplay trailer for a game that I think, Adam, you would be very interested in, because it's the sort of game that you and your kids have always gotten into. The little game that involves also collectibles.
Really?
In this particular case, it's called Starlink Battle for Atlas, and the collectibles are ships and weapons for the ships.
But the sad thing is, to all the Toys to Life games or that have come and gone, I mean, they're all just they faded. They're on the Late Show with that, unless they're trying to resurge it.
Well, they kind of made an agreement with a certain company that is also doing the game collectibles thing and has been doing it for several years now, and it's still very successful for at least one console that's probably going to solidify it. See, it's coming out on every console and PC, which we missed that it was coming out on PC, Badger. Apparently it is.
Oh, really?
But if you get it on the Nintendo Switch, you get Star Fox and Star Fox content. And Nintendo has been running with those amiibos constantly.
Yes. And it was really funny because I don't know anybody that actually owns any.
I have some.
You have amiibos?
Yes, I don't have the means to play it, but I have them.
Oh, yeah, there are people who collect amiibos just to have amiibos.
Oh yeah, I mean it's kind of like I was doing with the Infinity stuff. I mean I have all but 4 of the Infinity figures at this point, just because they're awesome. I mean they're really well done, and I would say that of all the toys, I mean the Lego ones rock. I will not say Lego Dimensions because they were actual Legos. And you can build them and play with them and all. That's pretty cool. But the Disney ones are the works of art. Unlike the Skylanders, which were more, I don't know, Skylanders was okay, but the Disney ones were true, like, they're just sculpture, little statues and stuff. They're really, really nice. But I could be a little biased on it, too.
Maybe just a tad.
That, and unlike Skylanders, there was a finite amount of them. Skylanders seemed to go on forever. It was like Pokemon.
The Crew got a new trailer, which was actually pretty underwhelming after Forza 4. And For Honor is getting a huge update with a completely new PvP mode and suddenly China.
Suddenly, is that a game?
No, For Honor has been samurais versus Vikings versus knights, but they're adding China. Like Chinese warriors.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, suddenly China.
Sweet.
The PlayStation Showcase, which was, for the most part, pretty underwhelming, but we'll get into why Sony completely lost E3 in a minute. They started off with The Last of Us Part 2. No release date. Gameplay looks like Last of Us. Probably we're hoping to make a bigger point out of the fact that they had a woman kiss a woman in the trailer. Hey guys, we're for equality. It felt kind of forced in my opinion, but
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
I didn't really pay attention. I never played The Last of Us, so I don't know if it's something that actually fits that character or not. I'm pretty sure someone will confirm me if I'm wrong. Speaking of God of War, it will be getting a new Game Plus mode, although they did not announce when. Destiny 2 got a little teaser, like I said, that involved Cade 6 getting shot in the face. He also saw his ghost get shot, so we don't think he's coming back. Hey, if you pay for PlayStation Plus, you can get an old game called Black Ops 3 for free.
Ooh.
Sucker Punch showed off Ghost of Tsushima, which, Badger noise. Yeah. Capcom's biggest announcement is, real biggest announcement was, hey, we're remaking a game from 20 years ago, because Resident Evil 2. There was a new game called Control, which I really think Sony needs to rename Damage Control, because that's what they need to do right now.
Okay, we need to get into this.
We will.
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts 3 showed Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. That was kind of underwhelming, considering we'd already seen Kingdom Hearts 3 twice from, one, their biggest competitor, and Square already. There's a new VR game coming to PlayStation VR by Rick and Morty called Trover Saves the Universe. Death Stranding got a 4th trailer and new characters. Still leaves us with more questions, and in case of Badger, more questions than interest. They did Spider-Man gameplay and introduced us to the villain. Another Noah 2 game, because Samurai Dark Souls is in right now.
Yes.
And then From Software announced a PlayStation VR exclusive story-driven game. Now, so, how did Sony kill themselves at E3? Well, first, they had a very lackluster presentation. Like, their presentation was honestly very short, considering everything they had in it. Especially compared to, I'm pretty sure their presentation was shorter than Bethesda, and Bethesda's just a game company, not a entire console company. But have you heard of this game called Fortnite?
We may have talked about it before.
Just a little bit.
Well, say you've got Fortnite on the Xbox, and this is getting a little bit into Nintendo stuff, but Nintendo announced Fortnite. And you got a friend who plays Fortnite on Nintendo. You two can play together.
Of course
awesome,
you can.
Right?
Yes.
But you know that Sony's been against crossplay for a long time, right?
Yeah, and it's been their Achilles heel for quite some time.
Well, not only can you not play Fortnite with any of your friends who have ever played on the PlayStation 4 or play on the PlayStation 4, but say you then want to go and get Fortnite on the Switch so you can play with your friends on the Xbox. Well, you have to go make a new Epic account because Sony has completely locked your Epic account out of playing Fortnite on any other console but PlayStation 4.
That's ridiculous.
Probably the best reaction to it I saw was Sony announces a brand new exclusive, your Epic account.
Well, I mean, that's when I look at it this way. I own Battlefront for both the Xbox One and for the PC, and those are two separate things. I can't play them.
Yes, but this is a case
separate accounts.
Yeah, but this is a case of where, like, hey, let me put you like this: I can play Destiny on Xbox and PC. They're two separate progressions, but it's the same account. If I also had a PlayStation 4 and Sony decided to do this with Destiny, I would suddenly be locked out of two of my consoles.
As in locked out completely?
Yes, because say you played quite a lot on the Xbox, and then you bought the Switch version, all of your progression and all the stuff you've purchased carries over to the Switch version because it's literally the same game. They're doing it where it's completely compatible. But you have to completely create a new account if you've ever played it on the PlayStation 4 because they're locking out everything. And not only that, but it's like, say, if you played Minecraft on the PlayStation 4, suddenly you can't play Minecraft on the Xbox or the PC or your Switch because they're blocking your Mojang account.
I guess I won't ever use it on a PlayStation 4.
They really were planning on it.
I gotta say, I am more than happy with my Xbone, so.
Yeah. There was some PC stuff. A narrative game called NeoCab, which is it's a genre of games that have been popping up a lot lately. One of the ones I can think of is called Valhalla, where you're running a bar in a cyberpunk future, and basically part of the game is not only making drinks for people, but having conversation and learning about these people and solving some sort of deep underlying storyline that's going along with it. It's the same thing with NeoCab, only you're a cab driver in a world where actual cabs driven by people is incredibly rare. One game I'm kind of really interested in got announced. It's only on PC. Is called Satisfactory, and it's called Satisfactory because you build factories. It's a first-person exploration co-op game that's visually looked a lot like No Man's Sky, and you're on an alien planet, but your goal is to build these big manufacturing facilities and basically set up an industrial backbone before colonization starts.
Your job, should you accept it, is to destroy the ecosystem as quickly as possible.
Pretty much.
Cool.
Um,
Sorry, it's just it really. I mean, it's like, what do we need to do? We need to pollute this planet as fast as possible.
Archangel Hellfire is coming to Oculus Rift, almost said Oculus Rift, and HTC Vive. It's sort of like a PvP expansion of Archangel, which a lot of people wanted. Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Valkyria Chronicles 4 is coming to PC. Another Xbox exclusive game called Vigor is coming this summer. Avalanche Studios showed off an engine. There's a new game called Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which is a VR game in which you hack into German Nazi robots and use them to kill Nazis. Dragon Ball FighterZ is coming to the Switch. GameCube controller support for the Switch, because nobody can move past the GameCube controller.
You shut it. I need it.
Solid Snake.
That was a horrible controller.
Solid Snake will be voiced by David Hayter in Smash.
I'm just imagining him to be much smoother.
Hitman 2 was announced. It's actually got a co-op mode.
So you can actually be hitmen?
Yes. You're not going to be Agent 47 and a lackey, but Achievement Hunter actually put up a video today called Battle Buddies Wedding Crashers, where they're doing a co-op thing. So if you're interested in that, go look up their channel after the show. They got new demo for Days Gone, more stuff from Last of Us, Code Vein stuff. Really, that's about the end of it.
Command & Conquer.
I talked about how it pulled a man's soul out and beat it to death on stage.
Did you talk about the new character announced for Smash yet?
Oh, Ridley's coming out for Smash because we need a giant space dragon.
Yes, we do.
But all in all, that was the video game stuff for E3. My big takeaway is I'm actually very excited for Anthem. They restored a fair bit of my faith for that game with what they showed. I'm still not going to pre-order it right now until I know more, and probably won't pre-order it at all. I will give a hat tip to Bungie for basically doing what could have been a jump the shark moment with showing the video of Cade 6 getting killed, but instead of jumping the shark, pretty much everybody who's ever played Destiny now wants to get Destiny Forsaken so they can murder a bastard. As a matter of fact, someone put out what stage are you at on the stages of grieving? And I said, is there a contemplating mass murder and genocide stage?
That would be anger.
What do you guys think of the Spider-Man game?
I need it.
It looked cool, but
it looked button masher to me. I'm watching
it looked very button mashing, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, I've played this game before. It's got a different story. It's got a different location, kinda, because it's off the raft. But I've played this Spider-Man game before, because it's literally just the exact same style of gameplay that was in the old Spider-Man games on the PlayStation 2.
I have that game, and that's okay. I'm not the only one, because I'm sitting there watching him in the fight scenes where there's actual gameplay, and I was like, boy, that looks familiar. I mean, everything about what he does, the jumps, the kicks, the web shoot, it was very familiar, and I was like, you just hit it on the head. That's exactly what it was. I'm glad I wasn't the only one that sat there and went, huh? It looks phenomenal. I'm still not sold on the big giant white spider on his chest, but
yeah,
it's like, did you let it sit out too long? Is that? I mean, because we all know what happens to dog poop when it sits out too long; it turns white. He's got dog poop on his chest. It makes no sense. It's just like, why would Spider-Man have this giant white spider? I don't know.
but I do want to talk about Anthem for a second. Where
Go
I have
ahead.
to run off and do my standard thing. While
Oh, say can you game? Oh, not that Anthem.
Long Anthem.
Yeah. While EA's press conference was very, very cringy. Especially the part about Anthem, because they tried to really beat around the bush that the fact that the Anthem itself is nothing new. It's literally a mashing of several ideas, which is not a bad thing. They just seem to not want to acknowledge it. I like to call it Destiny Frame Firefall Edition, because it's got a lot of Destiny elements to it. It's a shared world shooter. The story focuses on you, but the gameplay is very co-op oriented. You're in mech suits, so it's very Warframe. You customize the mech suits. Your weapons are just as much your abilities as your abilities. And then the whole Firefall thing is 1, power suits, 2, storms, 3, one central location surrounded by an area that protects it from the storms. So, and, Firefall, may it rest in peace, because I missed that game. But they seemed very ashamed about that fact. But despite that, what they showed, like the fact that they're probably got the Iron Man style of combat of flying and fighting while you're flying better than the Iron Man games, is probably a good sign. The no monetization in a way that's going to be lockboxes or predatory, and that was an out-and-out promise. I went from I'm extremely cautiously waiting to be disappointed to a little bit more than cautiously optimistic about the game.
Well, that's good. It's not a game that I'm familiar with. So.
After the show, before you have to go, we'll talk about it a bit. I'll show you some stuff, because you might actually like it too.
Cool.
Might get to live your Guyana robot fantasies.
Oh, I just need to. I mean, if you're gonna sit there and make me go, "Ooh, look, it's a game," I have to get a new mouse. I have come to that conclusion. I need more buttons.
I need a new computer.
I need more buttons. Well, we could switch gears since you got to go run.
And I ran.
I'll let you know what we're going to be talking about while you're gone.
Right.
It would appear that the merger of Time Warner and Time Warner and AT&T has been approved, which led to Comcast throwing their bid out for Fox, which now has the Disney deal kind of hanging. There. It's not up in the. Technically, Fox still has because of things that were put in motion, they still have to go through the motions with Disney, but the board can still say, no, we're going to go with Comcast.
Unless, of course, Disney comes back and says, then we sweeten the deal.
Yeah, Disney could come back and say, we just had a movie hit $2 billion.
Yeah, but my reaction when someone posted about that was like, Comcast had to borrow money and liquidate assets to get that cash bid. And
was it $65 million or something stupid?
I think it was $65 billion.
Was it that much?
But the point is, like, Comcast may act like it's worth more, but most of that value is in assets, whereas Disney is financially, like actual monetarily, much stronger.
Comcast is bigger, though.
Comcast is bigger and has more asset value, but Disney has more cash and actual cash value to throw around.
Financial stability.
Yeah, Disney isn't going. Comcast. While the deal might be, hey, look, their problem would be because they had to borrow that money. Is that money would have to be paid back?
Yeah,
and that means they would have to. It's like, would Fox still be a movie studio? Sure, it would still be a movie studio. Would people keep their jobs? Most likely, people would still be in play, but then they would be expected by Comcast to come up with billion-dollar ideas, or else they are going to lose money hand over fist at that point, and it could bankrupt them.
mm-hmm.
So
whereas, again, Disney has a movie on track to probably almost meet, if not surpass, Avatar in that whole box office run thing.
Yeah.
Not only that, nobody in their right mind can look at the concept of being given Disney stocks and go, no, I'm not interested.
Yeah, for real.
Except that that's exactly what they said. The Fox shareholders said they will take cash.
So they would rather take cash than something that's going to print money.
Yes, because cash spends now.
Cash spends now, but okay. Do the shareholders stay in place? That's my question.
That I don't know.
Because if they're shareholders, that means they own part of Fox. They have a stake in what what happens with Fox. Now, I really hope they would. I'm not a financial whiz, but the idea that you're going into somebody who just borrowed the money. They didn't have it on hand. Disney did not make that offer because they don't have that cash on hand. They made the offer for options, which would then bring them the cash in the future. Because Disney stock is like skyrocketing. It's out there right now. It is basically printing money at that point. So if you're looking at it, it's like, oh, we get the cash in hand right now. It's awesome. We got the cash. Look, we got the cash. And 3-4 years down the road, when Comcast is sitting there struggling to pay its bills, because what was the last big Fox hit?
Deadpool?
Can you name one? Deadpool. What did Deadpool make money monetarily? Comparatively. One movie. You can name one movie. Logan did okay. Deadpool did okay when it comes to numbers. It's like, you can't name me a Fox movie. Aside from Avatar, which was a decade ago. It's like, yeah, it better be. It's like, oh, we're going to start cranking out superhero films the same way. And yeah, we know how that goes with Fox.
Yeah, you are given a bit of a fair point. Now, even if Comcast wins this bidding war, there's a pretty big chance that they're going to lose in a couple years.
And then Disney just swoops in and grabs it anyway.
and then as they're sitting there in their decrepit executive office, all of a sudden they see the shadow of of a large sphere and two smaller ones coming over the window.
Now, I don't understand. I have to go back and actually read up on why Comcast has such a drive to grab Fox.
Because they're already not doing good.
Okay, the AT&T Time Warner merger. Well, Time Warner is a huge company. It's not just Warner Brothers Films. It's a big company.
No, it's also not a competitive deal. They're complementary.
Mm-hmm.
Also, and I will.
The government sucked at selling their case, which is pretty much what the judge said. Yeah, you didn't present a good case. You provided no proof that this would actually be bad. Other than that, you said it's bad. Also, Trump was saying he doesn't like that, and you can't disassociate the two.
I don't know. The whole just makes me raise my eyebrows. I gotta go read up on more of it. I really hope Disney does get it. I hope that Fox doesn't back out and say, "Oh, we'll take the $65 billion."
Side note, we do have Firefly in the chat, of course. I don't know what we have over in YouTube land, if anybody. And he had quite a few comments, which if you're watching Twitch, you've seen them. Actually, no. Doesn't that carry over into YouTube?
No, it will. It carries over on the stream.
Yeah, so he had quite a few things to say. I'm not sure what the Logitech Marble Mouse thing's about. So, Firefly, you'll have to explain. Maybe I missed something.
Yes, please do.
In the meantime, let's we'll discuss the next Star Wars film with Mace Windu.
I'm not putting that on the stream.
That'd be a hard R for sure then.
That would definitely be, we would definitely be pushing a hard R for that one. But yes, who's still here? Badger and you?
Yeah.
Physically, yes.
Okay, you guys are going to have to run this. I have to walk away from my mic for 2 minutes.
Oh, I admit I probably wasn't paying attention, Firefly. I missed the part about the mice. That must have been an Alistair discussion. I've been running around in Minecraft. But we've also been running around in Star Trek Online. Hey, Badger, why don't you tell us about your shenanigans?
Which one?
Yes.
Yes.
There's quite a few shenanigans. Let's just give the brief rundown. Too late.
Okay.
Too slow! You must speed it up!
In real life, I'm moving.
Well, yeah, but we don't like to live in the real world.
Aww.
The real world sucks. You gotta be an adult.
Wait, you do?
Apparently so.
I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Yes, you have. Anyway, the Star Trek Online expansion has turned out pretty damn good.
Yes, I'm very impressed with it. I mean, I was kind of worried when we heard that it was going to be the shortest expansion they've ever done, and I decided, I'm like, all right, well, let's get it over with. Let's see what it's like. And have you ever had have you ever heard that phrase of they packed so much into a small package? That was it. They did such an outstanding job with this expansion that it really did blow my mind. It was like watching DS9 all over again. It was fantastically, absolutely wonderfully well done, absolutely beautifully executed. There's just not enough good things to say about it. They did a really good job with it.
Yeah, you can see where their focus has been.
Exactly. And comparatively, yes, we've had expansions in the past. When they came out, they were huge expansions, like the Romulans, and then you had the expansion of the Delta, and they had huge expansions, a large amount of missions, and they were all either delayed, buggy, or some of the stories were just not that great. Well, they decided, I guess this time, that they're going to focus on only a handful of missions, but they pulled all the stops out. They decided to focus in and just do a handful of missions and really get the story down pat. And that's what they did. And they did a fantastic job of it.
They also probably spent their money on getting voice actors, i.e. the original cast.
They did. And the voice acting was beautiful. The only voice acting I maybe kind of had a small grudge with was Grodenchek, who played Rom.
No, it actually turned out pretty good.
He did, but he didn't have the mouthpiece, so it didn't sound the same.
It sounded the same to me.
Didn't to me for some reason. But
my understanding is they all use the mouthpieces.
Well, you could tell that Quark did. Shimmerman, you could tell he did.
Oh, Nog.
But yeah, and Nog. The only thing is that this expansion had some of the best storytelling I think STO has had ever. Like the storytelling was just like I said, something straight out of DS9. Like I don't think it was even Cryptic writing it. It felt like it was actual DS9 writers that came back to do these episodes. It was just fantastic. I loved them. The Ferengi episode was fantastic. Won't give any spoilers, but it was wonderful. It really was a good change of pace. It's something the game needed to kind of jolt itself, I think, out of a small slump. But it was really well done, and my hats off to Cryptic for really pulling it off. And comparatively, compared to the rest of the expansions that they've released, this had to be the least buggiest expansion they have ever done. Period, hands down.
Yeah, I haven't noticed as many bugs. I think it's been in other areas.
Yeah, there's small little bugs, like certain icons aren't the correct ones. I've noticed certain, like the cloak on the Jem'Hadar ship or the Cardassian ships, it will actually completely turn you invisible where you can't even see your ship. So the cloak is too effective. Yeah, the cloak is too effective. But it's little things that don't really affect it a whole lot. I mean, the cloak does, but the rest of it, like I said, the least buggiest expansion they have ever put out, and I was really well impressed with it. And I'm sure other people have their own opinion on it, but my opinion is that I think they did a good job, and they really did bring me back.
We'll say that the Mastery 6 thing, I understand why they have it the way they have it, but man, it takes a while to get through that. I haven't even finished one.
Well, I think probably my only complaint would have to be that they raised the item level to 15. It's like, really? Everyone just spend all this dilithium, all this time, and resources to make everything epic level 14, max crit, max this, max that, and then, hey, look, here's level 15. It's like, oh, everyone's got to go through the paces all over again.
Yeah, but you knew that was coming, man.
It is, but I personally think it was a little too early. They could have waited maybe another year. Because even I am just starting to catch up to level 14 epics.
I don't have hardly any epics, because it costs too damn much to do.
I still haven't played it.
Why?
Get on it!
Haven't.
Yeah, me too.
While we're on that subject, though, being the man who made the ship, and playing the Star Trek Online and whatnot, they've put out different options now for printing a ship. You can get tiny versions of your ship printed for $20 instead of $500 or whatever, because the cost went up for the nice ones, the really nice ones. The hand-painted ones, master-painted, whatever. Oh yeah, you're spending some serious dough for those. But the smaller ones, not so much. They're a little bit bigger than what WizKids and Fantasy Flight puts out for the tabletop games. But quality-wise, they look pretty good.
And they do look good, and from what I've seen. And one of the things about game print that I personally have had a really good experience with, I am like I said earlier, I'm in the middle of a move. I'm moving from Wyoming to Minnesota, and
Minnesota, eh?
Oh yeah, up there by the lake. There's lots of moose up there. But what really got me is I found out through my workplace I had to move. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, got to go through the paces and figure out how to move. Well, my workplace is moving me, but at the same time, I decided, okay, well, I got to contact GamePrint to make sure that my address gets changed. I'm like, this is going to be fun because I guarantee they're not going to respond very quick or whatever and whatnot. So what I ended up doing is I sent them an email saying, hey, I might be moving to another state in a few weeks. I'm going to update I'll get you the new address, and we'll see from there. And they responded very, very quickly. I think the next day they responded and said, hey, yeah, no problem. We'll get your address updated as soon as you get it to us. We'll put a hold on shipping your ship, pardon the pun, until we find out what your actual address is. So he put a hold on it. So he said, as soon as you find out what that new address is, give me a holler, and we'll get it sent and changed for you. I was like, oh, wow, okay, cool. So today I found out my actual new address. I gave it to him, and they responded literally within 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and he said, no problem, we got you, it's changed. He said, you can review it on the website, your new address is changed. I'm like, wow, that was pretty damn quick. All right, cool. So my personal experience with GamePrint so far, I'm really happy with them. I know some people have had small issues. I've seen like some ships have come in broken already, like specifically over by the pylons and the nacelles. But like I said, I've only seen 1 or 2 cases about that. And, that's what you're going to see on the Reddit is, people complaining about it. But you got to imagine how many of these are actually going out and they're getting done right and they're coming in really nice. The ones that I've seen are really, really well done, and the painting job is just phenomenal. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm all right with them taking their time with my ship. I told them, I said, take your time, get it done right. Don't crunch. Don't rush. Just get it to me whenever you can, because these look like they take time and they take effort. They take a lot of concentration on that painting, it looks like. And I'm really impressed with them so far. So I'm hoping my ship turns out really nice.
Yeah, but man, the price going up the way it did is... I know it was introduction, but geez.
Yeah, the price is a little... I will say this: that is the biggest and probably the only detractor from doing another one. Is like, man, that price is a little too freaking steep, even for me. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, I want to get the really nice hand-painted one, but I can't pay out that much.
Just not in the budget.
No, that's not just not in the budget. That's beyond the budget.
That is the budget.
Right? Again, I'm not knocking them really for charging what they charge. You know what? They're going to do what they do. But the fact that you can still print your ship in a smaller size, even, down to 4 inches for $20, yeah, that's much more reasonable. It's not going to be the really nice, fancy look, but still, I'll take it. I may just go ahead and do it.
I just hope they have enough painters to keep up.
Well, I don't know if those are hand-painted or not. I don't think they said anything to that effect.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think the hand-painted ones are the really pricey ones. A lot of folks, they've apparently said, have been getting the primer or primed version.
Yes, I've seen a lot of people getting the primed version so that they can paint it themselves. And, they, like I said, the detail on some of these is just, it's unbelievably gorgeous. Like, they do a really good job. I'm not sure how, I think someone was explaining the process as to why a few of them broke. The pylons were not... Someone explained it to me and said that maybe the pylons were not drying fast enough so that the nacelles, which were super heavy, were snapping
under their weight.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Those pylons can be pretty thin. And unlike their Star Trek counterparts, they are not made out of amazingly advanced composite materials.
Exactly. And I think the only ones I've seen that were breaking were Odysseys and Sovereigns. Those are the only 2 that I saw that were breaking.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, those are fairly thin nacelles, or pylons, I should say.
And I'll be right back. I got a phone call.
Dun 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 dun! I have returned.
He has
How
returned.
dare you?
I'm not saying that I tricked Badger to leave by giving him a phone call and then hanging up, but...
Oh, you know what?
Totally did.
I'm gonna go back to the game stuff because we'll go to EA because EA is always infamous for their, hey, look, you got to pay for stuff. Battlefront 2 just released all the solo stuff, so you can get the new Han Solo, Lando's Falcon. You can get young Lando in 2 separate outfits, young Han Solo in 2 separate outfits, Chewbacca in an outfit. But the price per factor, the amount of credits that you need, let's see, to get Princess Leia in Endor, Hoth, or her Boushh outfit, I think it's 40 credits. Luke Skywalker, 40 credits, or 40,000 credits. Han Solo, all the other ones, 40,000 credits. All the characters, 40,000 credits. To get the all-new Han Solo stuff, 80,000 credits. Per character. per look. I was like, really, 80,000? You know how long it took me to get 80? I'm at 95,000 right now because I haven't bought anything. I was like, what in the 80,000?
Well, then, it's a good example for you to throw up what I just put in the chat.
Inspire great developers to ruin their games with microtransactions. We exist. And eventually shut down. No, it's just, it was kind of annoying because it's kind of cool. And I was like, oh, I kind of like a young Han Solo or a young Lando Calrissian. But is it worth the 80,000 credits and 40 hours of gameplay that I've put in there to accumulate those 40,000 credits? Because I'm a casual gamer. My screen name even says that. That's my EA screen name. It's Casual Gaming Noob, which has gotten a few laughs out of people. Because my characters are not. My characters are leveled up, so they're like, "How are you leveled up at this if you're a casual gamer?" Because I've been playing this for ages, and I'm only here, and you're a 50, and I'm only a 26.
That should pretty much answer the question then.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion, if Badger happens to be back at this point, he will probably agree with me, that a lot of more game developers need to take a look at how Digital Extremes does things, because they make a game where you can buy stuff and spend money on things, including cosmetics, but they've designed it in a way that makes you want to spend money to amplify the fun you're already having, as opposed to spending money to have fun.
You got to design the game to work that way, though. Not all those games are kind of built that way.
Well, you can still have fun in that game without buying all this stuff. You really can. You don't
have as much
those
fun.
Those are just cosmetic stuff. But I mean, it's like for the cosmetics, it's like holy crow.
I'll give you an example. Okay, how long would it take you to grind out 80,000 credits?
Me? It's taken me 41 hours.
Okay. One of the cosmetic things you can get in Warframe are different helmets for your Warframes. Warframe has these things called alerts. They pop up, they last about an hour, you can run them, and you get rewards for them. Every once in a while, they will have alerts for helmets, for blueprint helmets. So you can then do the alert, get the blueprint, and then grind out the materials and actually craft the helmet for your Warframe without spending any money. Or if you're a person who really, really wants that helmet, thinks it looks really cool, and you have the money, you can spend the money. But it's not hard to grind out the materials for those helmets, and they drop all the time.
Badger is not returned.
And
I know this because he's very big into Warframe as well.
I don't know. I just found it out. I'm just waiting for a Last Jedi Luke Skywalker.
So, a floating cloak?
Yeah.
Speaking of
people are still arguing that. I just passed a Facebook post on that. They're still arguing whether Luke is dead or not.
He vanished into the Force, guys. I'm pretty sure that's been
He just invented a new Force power called teleport, man.
Oh no, the two Force-sensitive characters in the new trilogy both said that he was gone. They felt him. My son is with them. Are you sure? I have felt him. Whoa, he's back there, dude.
Speaking of things floating, though, and I only say this because there's a particular scene in which case there is an arm holding a sword floating, and that's all there is. I finally watched Dead Men Tell No Tales today.
Yes.
Half of that movie could easily have not happened.
I still have yet to bring myself to watch it.
I skipped through probably half that movie, and I didn't miss any plot points.
Is the new sequel trilogy too funny?
Like, for Star Wars?
Yeah.
No, I actually think it's more serious than the prequels.
Because, like I said, my friend, I'm calling Brian out on the show, and if he's listening or he goes back and listens to it, he can hear it. But I'm calling him out because he posted in there that the characters were there's too much humor, and they don't seem to be taking the situation seriously. And I'm thinking, there was just as much humor in the original series. Original trilogy had funny moments. Han Solo punching the Falcon into existence. I mean, that's a funny moment, and it's a tongue-in-cheek kind of funny guy, and it was just like he's like too funny. I was like, I'm trying to think of the funny moments in The Last Jedi. Yeah, Rey's fumbling was funny, but it was not out of character, out of the norm for Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the humor from The Last Jedi really came from background stuff like the Porgs.
Yeah, I mean, whereas like if you really want to get into it, I mean, Jar Jar Binks was intended to be a humorous character. He was the Goofy to everybody else's Mickey Mouse.
It was the catalyst of the Dark Ages.
And I mean, and it was toilet humor. I mean, there were fart jokes, and he stepped in poop, and all that kind of stuff. And when Lucas saw that it did not fly, they eased back, and Jar Jar disappeared into the ether for the next two films.
Well, at the very least, he faded back.
Yeah, he faded back. He wasn't completely gone, but he definitely did not have the role. I really think that Lucas wanted him in a much larger role throughout the entire trilogy. And when the backlash came after The Phantom Menace, it was like, oh, no, 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 no. And now that Lucas, I guess, is going to have that interview with and James Cameron's little miniseries thing there about science fiction, then he's releasing ideas that he wanted to do for what he would have done had he kept a hold of the company. And he said, I probably would have done them, and I would have done it this way, and fans would have hated it. And he would have introduced the more metaphysical side, or metaphysical and microorganism side, more microorganisms. Lucas has this thing about microorganisms, where the Wills would have been this creature that feeds on the Force, and they are what holds the galaxy and the universe, Star Wars universe together. So yeah, I would have hated that. Lucas is right. I would have been like, oh, really? More midi-chlorian crap? That was bad enough. The fact that he took the Force's ominousness away and made it just bacteria.
He tried to make the science fantasy a bit too much science fiction.
Yeah, and
it's something you do with Star Trek. It's not a Star Wars thing.
It's not, and it didn't. And I'm glad they kind of dropped it, that we haven't heard more of the midichlorians. And I liked Luke's explanation of it because it ties in with what Filoni was doing with Rebels, where the Force, I mean, the Jedi, in their arrogance, thinking that they could that they were the one true controllers of it, is wrong. I really, really enjoyed that part where Luke laid it all out. He's like, the Jedi were, I mean, their entire legacy is failure. And it's true. When you look back, the Jedi failed.
From a certain point of view.
True.
Okay, Obi-Wan.
But it's a legit comment to make, though, because depending on how you look at it, yeah, it is all failure, but it's also not. It just, because you're looking at something that's got a massive amount of history behind it, and we're not talking, EU and all that. We're just talking, generally speaking.
10,000 years they were around.
10,000 years. There's a lot of, there's going to be a lot of screw-ups, and there's going to be a lot of not screw-ups. It's going to go back and forth. And, as how history is, if you fail to learn from it, you're going to have a good chance of repeating it, especially if you've done screwed up. A good example, I guess, would be, just look at our own history. We don't go far back, nearly that far back, and there are definitely moments where you can clearly see there are times where we've repeated stupidity. And then we wonder, how did this go wrong? You didn't heed the warnings from before, idiot! So yeah, from a certain point of view, yeah, you can definitely see it as being failure, which Rey points out to him in the film. There was there was good things too, so it's not entirely failure. If you go into it though with the attitude of, their entire legacy is nothing but failure, then you're coloring all of your perception and not taking into account the good that they did do.
Sure.
Look at Rebels.
Well, and Rebels opened it up. Rebels, I mean, a lot of people don't watch it. It's a shame because Rebels opens doors that that they're tying it all together much more than Marvel even did with it's all connected with Solo and little tiny tidbits here and there throughout Rogue One, and I'm gathering that we might actually see some more animated characters in some of the other new stuff that's coming out. But and things that have been associated with the animated series. But when Rebels introduced, what's his name? What was the character's name? Was it the Bogan?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. The big guy.
Yeah, and it was like he basically he uses the Force, but he is not a Jedi. He is not a Sith, and he laughed at the concepts of Jedi and Sith. He thought it was funny. He was like, "How can I mean? It all exists as one. It's not separated." And Luke was kind of trying to impart that to Rey as well. It was like it's all there. It's all the Force. It's not good or evil. The Force is not good or evil. It is the Force. It's the people that use it that are good and evil.
But Yoda points out that there are, dark places.
Yes. And he missed him. He did miss. He missed. Oh, Skywalker, how I've missed you. I don't know.
Oh, dare you have attachments, Master Yoda? Oh, wait, you're dead. New York character.
I know people are I really, really enjoy that movie the more I watch it. It makes me want to see the third one more. I want to know where they're going to go with this.
I'm curious to see how they wrap it all up. Yeah. Though, our previous discussions in regards to Solo and fandom and whatnot, there does seem to have been a hit monetarily with Solo.
To a point. I mean, it's grossed what, another 100 million over its budget supposedly.
It still has, financially wise, made bank.
It's made its money back, or at least potentially. We don't. At least you go to Box Office Mojo, it doesn't say what the budget is. It just says not available. They made $317 million. I think last I saw they spent $250 million.
Something in that 250, 280. So I mean, yeah, it made its budget back. Is it a hit?
Not counting marketing.
Yeah, not counting marketing and stuff. It's not. Is it a hit in like Marvel senses or in like the Force Awakens sense? No. And The Last Jedi, and again, The Last Jedi was so divisive that it definitely kept people from the theaters. And it's a shame though, because it really is a film. It's fun. I've seen it 3 times now.
It's its own film.
Yeah, it is. It's the Star Wars film you didn't know, you didn't want, and yet you can still enjoy. And everybody's like, well, I can't tell you, he's not Han Solo. It doesn't look like Harrison Ford. He doesn't sound like Harrison Ford.
Look, the only one there who looks like him, I was going to say, the only one who looks like himself is Chewbacca, and it's not even the same guy.
But he does a really good job. And it's like, that's not how he met with Chewie and blah, 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 and the EU. It's like, oh, God, get it over it. The books are still there. Go read your books. Leave everybody else alone. But I don't know. I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to owning it on Blu-ray. But I really think that honestly, I think they should have waited till Christmas.
Yeah, it was a little quick.
They should have not pushed it for the May release, which I know they were going for the anniversary and all that kind of stuff. But
if they were going to do that, what they should have done is released, The Last Jedi. And then Solo could have been, pushed back to, I don't know, December.
Yeah, they could have pushed The Last Jedi to May and then pushed, yeah. But either way, that whole aspect of I can't see somebody else playing such an iconic role. It's like you do it all the time and don't even realize it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Chris Pine and Zach Quinto and Keith Urban did great. All of those guys
Keith Urban?
Star Trek. Yeah.
Carl Urban.
Sorry, Carl. Duh.
I say Keith Urban
there was a K.
Come out and croon his way through.
Well, that would have been funny.
It would have been.
I'm gonna heal ya.
Yeah, when you really think about it, Carl Urban not only, of all of them, he is Bones. He does such a good job in that role. And Quinto Spock. The fact that they're going to have another Spock in Discovery kind of upsets me.
They should have just brought Quinto in.
Oh, we haven't. There's been no confirmation on who's playing Spock, but it would be kind of cool if they get Zachary Quinto to play Spock.
Yeah, the only confirmed person is Pike, isn't it?
Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. It's the aspect of who's playing. How many Batmans and James Bonds and other Doctor Who's. You accepted new Doctor Who. Well, it's the way the story's written. Yeah, but you accept it. It's still the Doctor.
I mean, you want to argue that the guy portraying the character didn't do a great job. That's a fair point. I'll give you that.
What, Solo?
No, just in general.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you want to argue that actor X did not really bring across the character themselves. All right, that's fair. That's you can make that argument, and that's valid because not every actor or actress is as capable as others. But all the same, guys, we get old. We gonna die. You can't always have the same guy portraying the same characters. Yeah, sorry, Badger. Hate to break it to you.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine Brent Spiner trying to come back and play Data now?
Oh, he's so flat out said he couldn't do it. He can't portray the character in that manner anymore.
Well, physically, he couldn't portray Data anymore.
No, he's gotten too old.
Yeah, it's like, even Patrick Stewart is starting to show a little wear, comparatively.
You shut your mouth.
I mean, he still looks great. Did you see that he hasn't been offered a role, anything, since November?
Maybe he hasn't really been pushing for one either.
I don't know. He just made a thing. He's uncomfortable. I like it, but I want to work, and I haven't been offered anything. I guess his portrayal in Logan just kind of, I don't know.
Well, was it good?
What, Logan?
Yeah, Logan was fantastic.
Yeah.
No, we've had that discussion.
No, we're not going through that one. Logan was not fantastic.
I thought it was.
Well, I'm just talking, Stewart's portrayal.
Oh no, Stewart's portrayal of an old Cena. I don't know. Actually, when it was Professor X with Ironic syndrome from
Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's it was good. He did a really good job in the role. It was the rest of the movie. It was like, how much of Wolverine sleeping are we going to watch? Oh, look, he's driving. He's driving some more. Yeah. It's almost he drove as much as they walked in The Lord of the Rings. It's like he just drove and drove and drove and slept and drove and slept and drove. Ooh, action scene, and drove and drove and drove. And you know what? In Logan, there was a big thing. I remember Spielberg saying that you do not allow the audience to become emotionally invested in a character and then kill them. You will lose your audience, and they did that in Logan.
Funny thing is, that's what they say you should do in books.
Yes.
But it's the opposite for film.
Spielberg said you can't do. I mean, and he actually broke his own rule in Jurassic Park 2 and The Lost World when you were rooting for what's his name, trying to get them out of the trailer, and then the T-Rexes tear him in half because he goes through all that trouble to save everybody and then gets eaten. Unlike, say, Dennis Nedry, which you wanted him to get eaten by a dinosaur. And the lawyer, you wanted the lawyer to get eaten by it. You knew that was coming. But had they let Ian Malcolm get eaten by a dinosaur, it probably would have been a bad thing. So who here has not seen The Incredibles?
I have not.
Dude. You must watch The Incredibles.
Yeah, I'll get to it, maybe.
Dun, 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 dun.
I just haven't had a real drive to see it.
Sorry.
Did I read somewhere that they're actually going through with another one of those?
Yeah, it comes out this week.
No,
What?
Terminator.
Oh.
I have not heard anything.
I think they are. I think you're right.
I know they're beating the Predator franchise to death at this point.
Oh yeah, they brought that back. The Predator.
And now they're beating the Halloween franchise to death again. It's like, I will admit, Halloween H2O is a horrible movie, but I mean, they killed her. She was dead. But this movie is retconning everything that came out after the first film. It's like, nope, none of it existed. It's all fake. Never happened. It's a direct sequel to the original Halloween. Ding, 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 ding. I might actually have to go see it because I really enjoyed the first Halloween. But without Donald Pleasance, it's not going to have the same
Presents?
presence. You made a pun.
I do that sometimes.
Holy cow, is it really 10:50 already? It really
It
is.
would appear to be.
Would appear to be. Well, since we usually take forever on our last calls, let's call last call, see what happens. Anybody?
Well, we do have some from Fireflies talking about Vorgon ships in stow. Apparently, they're dropping hints of what might be coming for the summer event, another Vorgon ship, because they changed a line for one of the consoles. It's referring to a third console. So,
Who's the Vorgon again?
sharp-eyed. They're the guys who try to steal the Toxutot from Picard.
Oh, okay.
They literally appear in one episode of Next Generation, but they play a major role in one of STO's expansions.
You said Vorgon, and instantly my brain went Vorlon, and I'm thinking,
Yes.
That's Babylon 5.
Believe it or not, their ships kind of have a very similar hull texture.
And why did no one tell me that Babylon 5 is on Amazon Prime? All of it.
Why didn't they tell me that Babylon 5 was on Amazon Prime?
It is. All of it's on Amazon
I don't have
Prime.
Amazon Prime anymore, not that it matters.
Oh. No, did you get rid of it because of the price increase?
I got rid of it because when it came time to renew, I could not afford it.
Oh, okay. Because I got grandfathered in because I signed up for my 30-day free trial 2 days before the price increase.
Yeah, the price went up on me, and, well, I wasn't grandfathered in.
That's because you were already an existing customer.
Something to that effect. Anyway, last call. You know, I do wonder if Spider-Man's spidey sense goes off if he's watching a scary movie. It does make you wonder. He's watching it like, and suddenly spider sense goes off. Does he watch The Fly and become very interested? These are things you wouldn't think about until you run across a comic that actually brings up the points.
True. I have one that's not really geeky, but it's in the. I mean, I guess Netflix binging and watching is kind of geeky in its way, in another way, because a lot of people see it as a geeky thing to do because you binge watch, and geeky is in right now. But I watched both the new Kevin James comedy special and the Martin Short Steve Martin special.
That was good.
Which one? The Steve? You enjoyed it?
I enjoyed the Steve Martin Short one.
Oh, it was boring. They really weren't funny.
I thought they were funny.
They were humorous, but they didn't actually make me laugh. Whereas Kevin James made me laugh.
I have not seen that one.
The Kevin James one actually made me laugh out loud a couple of times. Whereas the Martin, it was too much. They were trying to roast each other throughout the whole thing, and it got old pretty quick. And then it just felt disjointed. The Jiminy Glick thing was pretty funny, but I mean, yeah. And
I enjoyed it. Not all comedian specials are good, and I thought they put on a pretty decent show.
Yeah, if I had paid money for it to see it live, would I have been upset? Probably not. No. But I will definitely say that Martin Short has not aged as well as Steve Martin.
No.
Steve Martin basically looks the same as he did 30 years ago.
Just not as thin.
True. Steve Martin looks like, or Martin Short looks like somebody let all the air out of Jiminy Glick. He's so wrinkly. But it wasn't bad. But I would recommend the Kevin James one more. That's my last call. I think Alice just talked out.
I had a last call, but I've already forgotten what it was.
Oh. Okay, we got to cut you off then.
Of what?
Apparently, everything.
If you're forgetting stuff.
Cut off my nerve endings. I'd appreciate that. I might be able to do stuff.
That seems a little excessive.
Yeah.
I live in pain.
How about we just burn them?
Alec is actually a Sith in real life?
No, he's a Mr. Meeseeks.
Just let me die. I just want to die. We all want to die.
Yeah, I guess we'll be back next week then, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
I did see Deadpool.
Yeah.
There's my last call. I saw Deadpool. I enjoyed it, but it's definitely a repeat of the first.
Thank you.
Like, almost exactly a repeat of the first. They did a little tweaking here and there, but for the most part, yeah, same shtick. Enjoyable, but utterly, in the end, forgettable.
Would you agree with me with that child actor really should have been replaced with someone who could not only act but was just not annoying? Every time he was on screen, I wanted to throw something at it.
I think that's why he was on there.
Ugh.
Oh, you mean the main antagonist?
Yeah.
For what he was playing, I think he was fine. I think they could have done more with the abuse part of it, but it wouldn't have been an X-Men style film if they did, I think.
Well, again, it falls in the realm of visual and all the stuff that everybody seems to come down on DC films for, on script writing and story and dialogue and stuff like that. It was the dialogue and some of the script stuff was mediocre at best here and there. Of course, they let him be Ryan Reynolds and ad-lib a lot, so he got to be Ryan Reynolds and be Deadpool, but all the other stuff was just kind of like meh. And the CG, oi. That the Juggernaut was oi.
No, Juggernaut was kind of a weak point. Everything else was all right. Although I did laugh when they revealed who the Vanisher was.
Yes. That was a neat little throw in. And I will say that the whole deal, it was like, yep, you got a superhero who can swear. Whoopie-doo. We heard it the first time. It was funny back then. Now it's just like, oh, look, he's swearing. Can you do anything else aside from that?
They did work in Domino really well, and even poked fun at all of the fanboys that have been going on about how you can't portray her powers, etc., etc. That worked out really well, in my opinion.
They did a really good job actually portraying her powers. They did do that. I will give that. But yeah, it made its money. People are still liking it. And then there's the Infinity War, which it was okay.
I still need to see it again. I just haven't.
I guess over at Cine Europe that's going on right now, Infinity War footage got shown, Aquaman footage got shown, or the trailer for Aquaman got shown, and a lot of people are like, oh, for Aquaman, and Warner Brothers is really happy with it, so maybe we'll get another good DC movie out of it.
Yeah, maybe. Guess we'll find out once it drops. To be fair, though, the guy playing Aquaman, he's a solid actor.
Yes.
Now, he really gets into it.
He's also a solid brick wall.
He's that.
And I guess over the next coming weeks, we'll find out Matt Reeves' Batman film, whether or not Affleck is in or out, where they're going to go with it, because the rumors are still flying all over the place as where it takes place. Then there's the rumors, or there's something about the Joker film, that they're doing a Joker movie. Why?
I do have a last call.
Go ahead.
Apparently, someone has seen that. Oh crap! What's his name? I forgot his name. God dang it!
Actor?
But an actor that they have seen was at the DC office, and they're possibly talking, and it might be the one playing Nightwing for the Nightwing movie.
Really?
Yes. I can get you the name here in a second. I'm currently dying in STO.
You're not talking about Joseph Gordon-Levitt, are you?
No, not Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I wouldn't mind him in the.
He was at E3, actually.
Apparently, I think it was DC who did a poll to find out if they were to cast Nightwing, what kind of actor would they prefer? And the poll was an overwhelming support for the choice of a martial artist. I can get you.
Well, it's a Nightwing. He should be.
Yes.
Yeah, well, the actor would have to be a martial artist.
It's Jackie Chan.
I don't think Jordan Gordon-Levitt is a martial artist.
He's just talented.
Jackie Chan is Nightwing.
Confused, I think, is what he would be.
Why am I in this suit?
Why am I here?
How old is this guy again?
Don't think it's going to work, guys.
People don't realize how old Jackie Chan is.
He's broken himself enough times.
And we can rebuild him.
He's getting to the point, he's like, no, you can't.
Louis Tan.
Really?
Louis Tan, yes. Now, fun fact, his father was actually in Batman Returns as one of the Joker's cohorts.
Penguin.
No, Joker.
Then that would be Batman.
Batman, sorry. My bad.
Oh, it's the guy that played, he's the one who played Scatterstar. Shatterstar, thank you.
Yes.
I love the fact that everyone was ripping on his for his costume, and he had one of the shortest parts in that film.
I could see him as Nightwing.
Actually, the shortest role was Brad Pitt.
Well, sure. I did say one of the shortest.
There was a poll that DC had done as to what they would prefer about who they would prefer as in the role. I'm trying to get the choices here. Hold on. I'm sorry, it was not DC. It was I'm not sure who this is, but Chris McKay had posted on Twitter saying, if you were to cast Nightwing, what is the most important quality you would look for in an actor? The choices were recognizable movie star, a badass martial artist, a Romani, which Nightwing was, vulnerable and emotional, and it was overwhelmingly in the category of a badass martial artist, with 48%.
And being that he is of British and Asian blood, he's a European, and he could pull off a Grayson if they were to switch it, where his father was the European and his mother was the Asian.
Yep.
So yeah, I could definitely see it, and I would be all for it, because not only is the dude like ripped, but yeah.
Yep.
That's all.
I think he'd be a good choice.
I think it'd be, excellent choice.
Slight amusement before we call it a night here. So, according to CTV Edmonton, $43 million in cash was found in an empty Nigerian apartment, to which somebody responded with, "Poor guy probably spent the past decade trying to share it, but no one ever replied to his email."
Yeah. And on that note, we will be back next week with I will spoil some of the Incredibles, I'm sure. More hype coming up to I guess this week is Incredibles, next week is Jurassic World? Fallen Kingdom? Yes, the 25th. Or is it 2 weeks from now?
I'm not sure. Maybe?
Or 22nd. No, it's this week is Incredibles, next week is Jurassic World. So there's those two things. And more rumors and hearsay, and then there's the gear up for Comic-Con, right? Coming. And the impending Aquaman trailer that is supposed to drop. They said soon, and they keep saying soon, so.
Okay. I actually have to go, so I'll see you guys next week.
She's got to go. All right, we're out of here ourselves. Everybody say
Later.
goodnight. I'm not even going to run the end credits. I'm just going to say goodnight.
Later.
Later.
We're out because I'm not running the fart song no more. You guys make fun of it too much.
You should totally play it.
Okay.
Yeah, how's that? I just gave you the farts.
Just the worst.
Just the worst. I really am. Okay, say goodnight.
Later.